When you think of cinematography or even videography, there is one brand and one camera in mind. And well, not only is the brand Sony, but the camera in mind is someone that everyone knows, and that is the Sony FX30. And yeah, this is one of the most iconic cinematography cameras on the market. And today we're going to be talking about it and covering everything you should know about this camera, from the specs to what it can do and why it's such a well-known camera for everyone to go for. Now, for this being such a well-known cinematography camera on the market, it has a good sensor that allows you to actually do that. Now, the sensor that is found with the FX30 is the APS-C Exmor-R CMOS sensor, which allows you to effectively capture 4K video at 60 FPS or even 120 FPS in slow-mo, and effectively you can even capture 1080p video at about over 200 FPS, which this camera has a lot of capabilities to it. Now besides that, there's actually more to it, because when it comes to the ISO and the shutter, it is very impressive. Now when it comes to the shutter speed for the FX30, for both photo and movie modes, it basically has a 1 to 8000 shutter speed, which is extremely quick, and later on we'll actually show how quick that actually is, because when you try to take photos, it doesn't even feel like you're taking any photos at all. And not just that, but the ISO range is about 100 to 32,000 ISO, which means you'll have a lot of range and control when it comes to capturing your favorite photos or even videos. Now there are so many formats that you can actually shoot using the FX30. In fact, you can shoot in standard 8-bit or 10-bit, and you can even shoot in S-Log, which most people will definitely know when it comes to Sony, because well, Sony owns S-Log, that's what it is. And of course the mount that is found with all Sony cameras is also going to be found with the FX30, which is Sony's iconic E-mount, which means if you have any lens that is an E-mount lens, it'll definitely work with the FX30. Which, do keep in mind, you'll definitely need to invest into more lenses, because while the cost for the body is extremely expensive, so do keep in mind to set a bit of a budget on the side for lenses itself. What makes the FX30 actually a good camera to go for is the build quality and the size. Now we are actually going to be comparing this to a similar Sony camera, which it's not really a good comparison, but it's just to give you an idea of how big this camera is and how it actually compares to some other cameras that you might be upgrading from. Now, of course, the camera we're going to be comparing it to is the A6400, which I have reviewed on the channel before. Now, of course, the A6400 is a small little camera and still does a lot of good quality when it comes to shooting, whether it's videos and photos. But putting the FX30 right next to it, you can not only see that the FX30 is a lot more chunkier, which I'll definitely say I do really like, but also the FX30 is not much heavier compared to the A6400. In fact, one of the things I actually do like of why this thing's a lot chunkier is there's more surface to actually grip compared to a smaller camera that is found with the likes of the A6400. And I think that's where the FX30 does also win a lot of cinematographers, because you have so much comfort when it comes to shooting, which I do really love, and I think it was smart for Sony to make sure this does feel comfortable in your hand, especially if you are someone that is planning to use this in a handheld setting. Now when it comes to the FX30, there's a lot of things you can actually connect to this camera, because not only does it have a lot of ways you can connect rigging to it, which can help you, especially if you're wanting to hook it up to, for example, a gimbal, or whether it's a dolly or any other rigs you're wanting to really use. There are so many ways you can actually connect gear to it, even some mics, and even some lights. Now, something I do find very unique about the FX30 is that it does have an HDMI port, which means you can basically straight away show clients the video you just shot, or even preview, or even just connect an external monitor to your camera so you can actually see what you are shooting. And not only is that, but you also have 2 SD card slots, which is definitely recommended, because if you're going to be shooting at 10 bits, is going to take a lot of space on your SD cards. Unless you do, of course, invest into a quick and large SD card for the FX30. But now let's actually test this camera out in terms of shooting in video, and also testing out its capabilities when it comes to photos, because yes, this is a cinematography camera, but you can also still take some photos, and we're going to be testing that out. And not just that, but we're also going to be testing out the built-in mic and also connecting a stereo mic, which I'm currently using right now. So let's get straight to that. Okay, this is the integrated mic test, and also this is shooting at 4K 25 FPS. Of course, this is just to test out the stand microphone that is built into the Sony FX30. And honestly, at the time of recording, I don't know what it sounds like, but I'll let you guys be the judge of it, compared to obviously the microphone that will be connecting to the camera right now. And now we have connected my DJI mic to it, which will be coming in a later video, but what I've noticed when I was setting it up to the FX30 It's just how smart Sony did it when it comes to connecting any microphones that are external or lever mic to the FX30. Because not only is the port at the very top, which means you'll not be disturbed when it comes to shooting and wanting to monitor on the screen that's on the side, but it does make it a lot more easier for you to have more of a managed camera setup when it comes to shooting, whether it's for weddings, events, or even doing something like this, which is YouTube. But now let's test this out with S-Log outside and also using it with standard 8-bit, because currently my SSD is not quick enough to shoot at 10-bit at the moment. Okay, I just got done shooting with the FX30 outside and I'm actually really impressed. Now there are actually quite a few functions that are found with the FX30, such as stabilization and of course autofocus, but I did not expect it to be so responsive. Now of course we did some test videos when we did basic video and of course using some S-Log shooting. And I am really impressed. And not only is the quality really good, but the details is extremely impressive. And not just that, but the autofocus made it so much easier for me to shoot from one object to another without having to adjust any settings on the camera itself, which is a big time saver for a lot of those who are wanting to get the FX30 for whether it's wedding shoots or fast-paced shooting where you need to change from different scenarios in a short span of time. Which means yes, if you are wanting to have something that allows you to capture on the go pretty quickly without having to worry about getting the right focus, this can do it pretty quickly with autofocus. Now, of course, when it comes to shooting photos, it is not only extremely quick to actually shoot some photos, but the photo quality looks pretty good, and also you don't hear any shutter because, of course, the shutter speed is so quick it's hard to even notice it. And you don't really hear any sounds. The only sound you hear is the click of the button, which is also pretty silent. And if I'm being honest, this is my first time actually even shooting with the FX30, so to see how much it can actually do with basic specs on without going in more depth, this is a good camera to go for. Now, of course, we are at the conclusion of the video, and we have to talk about the price. Now, of course, currently by the time of recording, you can pick up the FX30 on Amazon for around about $1,800. And that is currently on special. The original price is over $2,000. And that is not including the lens at all. That's just the body, which, yes, that is extremely expensive. We are yet again paying for a cinema camera body, and it's going to have all the best specs you need when it comes to shooting for events, and it's actually kind of worth the price tag. Because we are going to be doing more professional shooting with the FX30, this can be a good investment to go for. But do keep in mind, do save some money on the side to invest into bare lenses, and of course get some more equipment that you can attach, because yes, you can attach more accessories to it, which means at the end of the day, you can have more shooting capabilities using this compared to any other cameras that are on the market that might be around the same price tag. But at the end of the day, I do recommend this camera, and I will say it's a bit overkill for some scenarios, and if you are going to be using this for mostly YouTube, it is extreme overkill, but yet again, at the end of the day, it allows you to capture all the things you want to capture without any hassles, and it captures it extremely well with high quality and high detail. Well, so I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next one. Be safe as always, and have a good day. And do let me know comments below. Will you pick this up for yourself if you had the money for it? Because it is extremely expensive. Before we end the video, don't want to give a huge thanks to Southwide Media for allowing me to review their FX30 on the channel. Guys, catch you guys next one. Peace.